Ain't no place like low place, and I'm live. Let me check my audio to see if we are good, and we'll start this topic up as quick as possible. Well, actually, may not be able to check my audio at all because the YouTube page is going pretty slow here, but I just reloaded it. My internet is pretty fast, so I don't know what the issue is, but nonetheless, we're gonna touch on this topic. I'm pretty sure I'm being heard, but let's check. There we go. There we go. There we go. Good audio. So let's go in on it. For a long time, people who listen to me, and for those who don't, I'm low place, and ain't no place like low place, okay? And after telling you that, sorry. After telling you that, I would like you to hit the thumbs up button if you're new to the channel. Coming into the video, you know, a long time subscriber, new subscriber, please subscribe if you have not. Hit the bell icon and get notifications next time I go live. And I want to talk about a little about the great Lomachenko. He's a damn good fighter. Okay, can't take that away from him. The man has a very good skill set that, you know, you wish all fighters had, or many fighters had. He got a great in-ring skill set. You know, could do a lot of different things, but that's not kind of what we're kind of going to touch on. That, and then we're going to touch on what I've been saying about him. He's a political diva, and today the WBC either proved that, or to help prove that, continue to prove that, or the WBC just opened the door for a lot of greatness to happen in this sport. And I'll say this: what I'm about to touch on, I was an advocate of this ever since Dmitry Bivol picked up his vacant WBA title. I said it then. I had to delete all my videos, but I'm telling you, I said it then that, hey, forget letting Dmitry Bivol and somebody in the WBA rankings fight for the vacant title. Take two champions and the longest reigning one and the next longest reigning one, and tell them, hey, do you two want to fight for this vacant title? We would have then a 3-belt holding champion, and then everybody knows who to chase. We foster better competition. Low place has been asking for this since Dmitry Bivol has been a champion, but that was the WBA. This is the WBC. The WBC today has approved Vasyl Lomachenko, who is the WBA champion and the IBF champion, to fight for their vacant WBC title, not versus another champion. That's my one issue, but maybe they got an out on that. We'll talk about that. They have approved Vasyl Lomachenko to fight Luke Campbell for the WBC title. I'm not mad at the move. I am upset that this could hurt Lomachenko's reputation with me even more. And I am upset that the other champion, Comey, is kind of injured, kind of looking for a tune-up type deal. I don't know what it is. I'm upset that we didn't get to see this in a division where two champions, you know, are healthy, ready to fight, and to see if the WBC would have told the person that was mandated to get the shot 1, 2 in the rankings, say, nope, the person you'll be mandated to fight is the winner of two champions. That's the only thing I'm upset about here. Lomachenko already has a history of political stuff that I don't like. He is phenomenal in the ring, but the politics outside, they're disgusting. And they just helped him gain one more thing if the WBC, one more thing against himself. If the WBC doesn't continue this behavior, they need to continue this. So, for example, if Jamel Charlo and Tony Harrison fight for the WBC title, and let's just say Tony Harrison keeps the title, but for instance, somehow, some way he's injured, you know, and he's out a while. They make him a emeritus champion. Do they then go to Jarrett Hurd and say, hey, you and Jaime Munguia? Or, you know, let's say Jaime turns it down. Do they say, well, you versus the number one man? If they continue this behavior, this is great for the sport of boxing, and the WBA needs to take note. The WBO, the IBF as well. I've been called for this. I'm telling you, I listen to my videos back to make sure I'm not cheating the sport of boxing. I've been called for the WBA when Andre Ward dropped the title, and they just like, okay, we're gonna make Dmitry Bivol Badu Jack. Badu Jack's like, nah, I'm trying to fight for the lineal title against Adonis Stevenson. The WBA at that point should have said, well, go ahead and do that, and we'll have one champion, one lineal champion, and we'll only have, 2 champions or 3 champions in the division instead of 4. It's all about us having one champion. It's all about us having one champion. And this is a perfect move if this is a universal move for the WBC. But if it's a Lomachenko only move, you can't defend this. This is repeated steps for him to be political and not have to get in line and be like every other fighter. You can't defend it. But we will be hoping that they continue this behavior. He said, why didn't Callum Smith get ordered to fight Benavidez or Darrell for the vacant WBC title? He was in the tournament. Look, hey, you're kind of right. I need to look into that situation a little bit more. He's a WBA champion. You're kind of right. But let's not hold him against something that happened in the past. Let's look toward the future and say, get this together right now. He said, but Loma has done. This ain't about what he's done. We're asking for universal boxing. Don't be a fanboy. Don't think I'm disrespecting him. I'm asking for universal boxing. See, you guys like to argue too much when I'm only trying to help you get better fights. Stop it. I don't want to see him being the only person. I want to see every champion, hey, be courted by the WBC and say, look, we got an open title over here. Would you like to unify your title in a vacant title fight? Praise God, people. Pray. But we can't have it just for Lomachenko. And I agree, Comey is on the shelf. But if he wasn't, would they put Comey in there? Would they put Comey in there? That's what would they say Lomachenko, Comey for the vacant title? And then guess what we'd have in the division? At 135, we'd have one champion. That division has been in flux forever. Okay, Terrence Crawford didn't unify it. The last person to unify it was Mikey Garcia and Lomachenko. But before that, I can't remember a unified champion. Before that, let's go back. Adrian Broner wasn't unified. Shoot, Marquez unified it. I believe that was the last time it's been unified. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. Don't make it special for Loma. Loma don't need no more specialness, okay? He already got Bob Arum to sit Nicholas Walters out a whole year. He ruined that fight for me. He already got the WBO to let him lose in the title fight and then put him right back in a vacant title fight. Okay? That's 2 things. We could go on further. We could go on further, but we're just going to leave it right there. Let's hope the shit, excuse me, I'm trying to stop cussing in my videos. You mean Mauricio Suleiman jacking to Canelo posters? Oh man, I can't do that. And he said he agreed with me. Now, look, I'm not a Loma hater. I'm a realist and pointing out what he did and what his promotion helped him do and what politics has helped him do. And I hope this ain't another step. I hope this is just a step in the right direction for all the boxing. Okay, no one else can look out that I know of say, oh, I was unified in a vacant title fight. You don't want to be in those. Well, I guess, fans don't hold it against you. I do. You know what I'm saying? I hold purity in this sport. And I say, man, yo, everybody's fighting for the same thing. Any given night, things can change. Nobody's the guy. Nobody's the guy until you're gone and it's over with and you prove you're the guy. He said he's the least protected. No. Lomachenko was offering if you beat me contracts when he was a clear B side and not an A side to anyone. He's took several shortcuts, and that's what I don't like. I believe he's phenomenal in the ring, but the shortcuts have turned me off. Okay, he started late as a professional. He had to get going early. I respect that, but you didn't have to do everything Usyk didn't do. You started using too many politics even after a loss. I think it's the best fight with what they can work with. My solution is make that fight, Luke and Loma. Look, the only thing I could say differently that I would do differently is I would like to know if the WBC contacted the I believe he's the IBF champion, right? Richard Comey, because Loma has the WBA and the WBO. I would like to know if they contacted Richard Comey and said, "Hey, can you get in for this fight?" Because if they didn't, then they just put the door, they opened the door for one champion, and that right there would be a little politics to get you a title. But Comey's a little injured, so maybe we. I just said I would like to know. Usyk took longer to account. It's not about long or length. It ain't about that. I'd rather you do it the right way and it take 2-3 years longer than you tell me I'm offering, if you beat me, contracts. I'm putting guys on year layoffs with my promoter. You know what I mean? I'm fighting for a title after I lost the title, just lost in that title fight the next fight. No, it's not about length. I'm looking at the purity of what these fighters do. And I think if the WBC makes this a worldwide move, a division wide move, a color creed wide move, then we just took a great step for the sport of boxing. And I've been asked for it. I just asked the WBA instead of the WBC. WBC picked it up. Luke and Loma for the world title. You can't complain because the guys in the rankings is like, okay, now you get to fight a guy with 3 belts instead of 1, and you don't. And for you people that don't like champions that get belts and they're not ready, like let's say Devin Haney got a belt at one because he's in the rankings. He wanted to fight Luke Campbell. Let's say he fights Luke Campbell. Is he then going to say I'm unifying with Lomachenko in the next fight? Probably not, because he's young. And his promoter probably say, nah, we can build up, build up. We take that aspect out the game because now if you're going to be a mandatory, you can't sit there and wait. Somebody will say he's waiting, move him out the way like Alexander Vozik did to a later Alvarez. And let's hope they don't take as long as Alexander Vozik did with a later Alvarez, because he sit there, and they just let Stevenson get older and older and older. And I think the WBC has learned you cannot age out your own champion. Like, your champion deserves better than that. You sit there and you had 3 mandatories refusing to fight Adonis Stevenson, and you did nothing about it. You got to go down the list and get them fights like the IBF did. Let's do this. Let's do this. I ain't never did nothing but told the truth in boxing, tried to get better for boxing because we got all these platforms. We watch boxing every Saturday, and there's no excuse not to be watching great fights every time we turn the TV on. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. I can't wait, bro. So Devin will be in the rankings, I believe. Let me go look at WBC rankings. Mikey will be the, and I don't even want to say Mikey's name here. Like, I really don't. Like, he has no reason to be talked about in the sport of boxing right now. I'm just over the Mikey Garcia. Just it. That's just the truth. But I will say he's the emeritus champion. They put him like in champion in recess type deal, whatever. Lomachenko is likely going to beat Luke Campbell. It's actually a good fight. Lomachenko is a lot smaller than Luke. Luke ain't a bad boxer. You know what I'm saying? If Luke bring his best game, he's going to do way better than Anthony Crolla did. And I don't think he's going to get stopped like Jorge Linares did. His best bet is a little bit better than Pedraza, in my opinion. But nonetheless, it's a good fight if he brings his best game. So in my opinion, the champion be Lomachenko at the end of the fight. Then you got Zar Abdullah, Abdullah, I guess, at number 2. Then you have Devin Haney at 3, Teofimo Lopez at 4, Javier Fortuna at 5. My favorite fight for Lomachenko at 135, honestly, would be Javier Fortuna. He's a veteran. He's been in the ring with very good people, very good names, different weights and stuff like that. And he ain't never fought a great fighter, but you could tell he has the potential to be somewhat of a great fighter, somewhat like that. But yeah. He said, but I'm just saying that Lomachenko has done enough in a short amount of time to be politically crazed. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. No point do we want to say, look, he used politics to where he's at, to get to where he's at, my honest opinion, and it's just the facts. Okay? So if you didn't use politics to get to where you were, and then at some point you became 31 and you just said, all right, y'all don't deserve me. Y'all need to do it the hard way like me. Then I respect and I understand that, because Boxing shouldn't be just trying to knock off one guy. And when you knock off that one guy, that's the guy you look and say, well, I don't have to beat anybody else. That's the way we rob ourselves of fights. Okay. One guy I gave Manny Pacquiao a pass. He don't want to fight Spence, so be it. He didn't want to fight Crawford, so be it. He put in his work. And if he want to, get beat by Jeff Horn and then the other stuff, it is what it is. Loma won his first. See, look, guys are coming and making excuses for just letting politics go. God dog it. Let's let it go. Accept that the dude used a little bit of politics and shut up about it. Okay, he's your favorite fighter. Let it go. Loma won his first world title at 26. His dream since then has been to unify. And yet 5 years later, he's still never been allowed to fight for more than 2 titles. Political diva, yeah, right. Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness. You worried about his hopes and dreams, but what about the hopes and dreams of Nicholas Walters not wanting to fight Lomachenko in a year layoff, but to be active and get the fight? See how biased you are? You body yourself by sitting up here and reading his hopes and dreams and knowing which tattoo he got on his left ass cheek. Stop it. His hopes and dream is the hope and dream and dream and hope and dream a little more. It was it Rigo's hopes and dreams to not be able to get the fight at 124 or 126 because, hey, Lomachenko wanted to be the big A side? No. Let it go. It's happened. Hold him accountable so he doesn't do it again in your face blatantly and you have to defend him more. Or the next guy realizes boxing fans don't want crap like that. The next promoter realizes boxing fans don't want crap like that. He said that's his fault for not training and being active. No, this is promoter fault for holding him out and him asking for fights and they are not giving him fights. You go just train for nothing. You go train for it. Boxing's hard. You hurt your back, you hurt your hip, you hurt your hands. Boxing is hard. It's a promoter's job to do the right thing, not just Nicholas. Put him in fights. He wants fights. You got to pay coaches to train. You got to pay gyms to train. What do I do if I'm not getting paid? What do I do if I'm not getting paid? You gotta let this man fight. You can't excuse that. You can't excuse that. Or I'm gonna hope this on you. Every fight that you ever want, they start to make year layoffs mandated in those fights. And one guy just keeps winning, beating year laid off opponents, and you know what's going to happen every night to the point you don't turn your TV on one Saturday night. If that's what you really want, then you can keep continuing to praise that nonsense. We are taking a step in the right direction. We are taking a step in the right direction. He said Floyd takes years and change. Floyd has his own gym. Floyd is a multi-millionaire. Nicholas Walters was making just the amount of money that Lomachenko was making. They weren't making money. All right? No, bro. No, you're not going to do that. He said if you elite, you elite. Well, you tell Lomachenko go do your layoffs repeatedly. Go tell him to do that. Tell him to do your layoff, then fight Luke Campbell. Let's see. And Luke Campbell's nowhere as good as Lomachenko compared to Nicholas Walters. You know what I mean? Nah. But let's see it. I mean, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. You guys need to cut it out. You need to cut it out, and you need to accept the fact that Bob Arum put Lomachenko on a pedestal to get to where he was. There's other guys that didn't have pedestals. Jared Hurd didn't have a pedestal. He's where he's at. His story is so much more organic than that of Lomachenko's. But you can forgive, you can accept what Lomachenko's doing in the ring and just be happy for him putting hands on people and hope that it doesn't happen further. Okay? Until then, that's his story to me. Okay? And the WBC just helped him. They helped him. But are they going to put everybody else in the same position? Can find the articles if you want, but please don't make me. But you can find them. Let's see what he's talking about. Loma agreed to a Rigo said that they had to wait. That the money issue came up again where he said they wanted him to be a B-side to come up 2 weights or a weight division. And he said pay him fairly for a pound-for-pound level fight. That's all they wanted to do. Pay a guy that's taking the risk. You're going to get credit for it. Hey, don't say it's not worth it because you wanted to get credit for it at 130. He said 2 Olympic gold medals. We're not talking about the amateurs. We're talking about pro boxing. If we were talking about the amateurs, Jared Hurd wouldn't have two belts. Jared Hurd wouldn't be talked about. He wouldn't be nothing. See what I mean? Like you can't forgive this stuff, man. You can't forgive it, or his story becomes less and less organic. And the more you tell it, the more people come and talk about it. Hey, bro, you know, what does it talk about? You know, I'm gonna say things you don't like. You're gonna get upset with me because I gotta tell you his best fight that should have been his career opponent. Maybe he threw in the drain, and Nicholas Walters, his promoter, helped throw in the drain. I mean, do you guys want to see Pacquiao Mayweather with Pacquiao coming off a year layoff? I'm good on that. I'm saying I want to see these fighters fighting at their best. When we say the best fight, the best, I hope we also mean at their best. Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, they were both coming off year layoffs. Al Heyman didn't say, hey, Keith, you got to sit this one out. Sean, you go stay active. Let it go. Man, come on, bro. No, that shouldn't be working. Now, if Lomachenko was a mandatory for a guy coming off, it ain't his fault that this guy's on a year layoff. Hey, you can't blame him. But when your promoter sits you in that situation, it is what it is. Yes, but you saying he was carried. He was. He worked hard, but he worked hard in carried situations. I mean, you act like it can't be done. You act like it can't be done. He worked very hard. Every fighter worked hard. Other fighters didn't get carried while working hard. See? Give me just a second. I got to get this off of me. Oh, that hurts. Oh, feel better now. So, yeah. Why is YouTube deleting my comments? I see your comments. Well, so look, I've discussed what I want to discuss in this. You know, Loma getting a shot. He's getting a shot to get 3 belts. What I mean by all this, it doesn't surprise me. You didn't hear Rigo turning down the fight at 126. They would ruin their narrative. He did. He on Dante's Boxing Nation said it ain't about the weight, it's about the money. They being cheap. They once again tried to hold a fighter out. They literally, that's the fight the fans wanted. And Bob said, nah, Lomachenko, you're not worth the investment. Maybe he didn't trust Lomachenko. And then he got him off a year layoff, basically. Rigo hadn't won a fight in like a year or something. He's 40 years old, coming up 2 weights. So, you know, all of these things don't look good for you. And until the politics goes away and you get a good win without the politics, I can't rate you pound for pound like I can do other fighters who don't have a story of politics. I don't believe the P in pound for pound stands for politics in any place. Okay? So we're just going to let it go. To me, I'm just going to let it go. I like him in the ring. Is he a pound for pound talent? Yes, he is. But does he have a pound for pound story? No, he doesn't. Other fighters are pound for pound talents and they have a pound for pound story. And I will consider both. I will. So, will he get on the pound for pound list for dominating or beat Luke Campbell? I don't think so. Like I said, if you get a Comey win and let's say a Fortuna win, I think you can get. I think you've done enough at a point to climb on my list somewhere. Now, you may not be toward the top because other guys are going to have wins. If Lomachenko wanted to go to the top of my list, I think the top is too big of a step because he would have to go to 140, beat a Prograis, beat a Taylor, and that's not going to happen. And he's admitted that won't happen. So he's kind of banged himself in the butt for me already. He done messed it up. He banged himself in the butt. All that politics early. If it wouldn't have been that, and you just would have got a clean Walters win, you got clean Rigo win, man, you'd be right up there. You'd be in position. You know what I'm saying? People will be contending to take your number 1 spot. That's all they could do for you. But I don't rate politics, bro. And I'm hoping the WBC doesn't make this another black eye on Lomachenko for accomplishments. You know, get him 3 belts. Let's just act like we didn't do this for, you know, act like we did this for everybody else. Let's not do that. Let's push let's remember this. Let's push the WBC to make this universal. Okay, and let's push the other sanctioning belt bodies to do so as well. And with that being said, I said everything I wanted to say. Appreciate everybody showed up in the comments. I appreciate everybody hit the thumbs up. I appreciate everybody listening now, listening before, and the people that will listen in the future. Please hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon to get notifications next time we go live. Sharing this content won't do anything but make boxing better for you and I. So please do so all over the World Wide Web in the forums where you talk boxing and sports. Please do so over social media where you talk boxing and sports. And like I said, we'll just make this sport better for us. I'm a very fair fan. I believe talents don't need my help, okay? Unless I was their trainer, there's really no help they should need. If you're a talent, you're a talent. If you lose at night, you were meant to lose that night. God wrote this story a long time ago, they say. I don't know if I believe that, but I just used it right there. So be it, okay? So like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share, okay? Till the next time, ain't no place like low place, and I'm out.